Thank you.
John Waters!
Oh, God.
You're not
you.
standing up? John Waters is here in the flesh.
Thank you. Live, like that place outside the LA airport that used to say, nude live girls. That was the thing. That's nice compared to dead ones. Anyway, hi.
Oh my gosh. I thought that we should start with a trigger warning.
I never understood them either. I thought you went to college to have your values questioned. Yeah.
Exactly, but then I realized just saying John Waters is a trigger warning. Is he not the human embodiment of trigger warning? I say that with complete adoration and reverence, right?
Thank you.
Okay, so trigger warning. Jane Austen, Charles Dickens, Agatha Christie.
What about them? They weren't big influences on me.
Mark Twain, John Waters, novelist.
Thank you. Thank you.
So everybody is just either, the book has just come out on
Just came out
Tuesday.
Like a couple days ago, yep.
So you are getting your copies tonight, or you've just gotten it or something. So can you just give us a quick little synopsis of the book?
I'll give you the trailer. It's Marsha Sprinkle, suitcase thief. Her family wants her dead. She hates animals and children, hate her. She's on the run with a big chip on her shoulder. She's dangerous, she's depraved, and they call her Liarmouth until one insane man makes her tell the truth. I can't help it. You know? It's a feel-bad romance.
Okay, then we have to immediately go to, this is early in the book. This is, you will capture Marsha perfectly from this. He's going to read a little section of the book.
Hold on.
She's stepping into a limo to go to the airport to rob suitcases.
Yes, with her fake chauffeur. Hold on. So it starts...
Marsha regally. It's about halfway down. It's about halfway down.
You have the thing covered up.
Oh, no, it's down here. It's down here. Sort of Marsha regally steps into... Okay, we'll find it. Just
Wait a minute here.
Okay. We're on page 9, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Marsha...
Or maybe up here at the top. Here. I
go.
say, yeah. Marsha regally steps out of the house. It's nice out. Not that she cares. The only time she notices the weather is when flights are canceled. Just as Daryl leaps out to open the back door, Marsha opens her own lying mouth for her first practice lie of the day. But she doesn't get a chance. A large horsefly accidentally flies directly into her oral cavity before she can speak. Outside in the air, this creature doesn't seem that big, but from inside her mouth, it feels like that giant flying reptile Rodan she once saw in a movie on cable. Her jaws are no match for this frightening pest, who, temporarily blinded in panic, begins biting her tongue with its tiny blood-sucking mouth. But Martha is ready for any curveball nature might throw her. At first, she considered spitting out this invasive monster, but then her reflexes take over, and her snapping turtle-like tongue, hidden beneath her freshly glossed lips, rips the unwanted tormentor from the roof of her mouth, and with one bite of her entry-level free teeth, the execution of this pexy intruder is complete. Yes, she swallows. Yeah, nature is always giving her trouble. Dogs really hate her, too. Yeah, they go after her everywhere.
Marsha. Where did Marsha Sprinkle come from?
I don't know. I just wanted to think up somebody that would be friends with Serial Mom and Dawn Davenport and Francine Fishpaw. And all the heroines of all my movies, I think she'd get along with them.
She's like Dawn Davenport's stepsister.
Yeah. I just wanted to make a character that would be totally dislikable to the rest of the world, but have the readers secretly like her. Yeah. Which is all my movies in a way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Something else that you're going to love in the book, which is typical of everything you've done, that you bring all of these fringe behaviors out of the dark shadows and into the light. So a little spoiler alert, get ready for tickling and bouncing.
Well, bouncing, tickling they might have heard of, but bouncing is another thing.
That was a new
her
one.
Her daughter is addicted to trampoline. She owns a trampoline place that is shut down because children are injured at a birthday party there. So all her extreme followers form a cult, and it's like a speakeasy. It's secretly opened, but they are addicted to bouncing. Their cars have no shocks. They eat food that goes up, and everything has to bounce. And so they're on the run, actually, in a car that goes up and down. You know, they're always bouncing. So I just thought there is a slight movement of bouncing if you look deep online. I think Gwyneth Paltrow might be one of them, but it's. I really take it to
She's the
great
secret
lengths.
queen.
Yeah. She is the ultimate Jim Jones of bouncing. Yeah.
And of course, there are other delights, the gender reassignment of pets. And
well, there is a
plastic
pet. Her
surgery.
mother, Adora, runs an extreme facelift clinic for pets. And her specialty is dogs that have been neutered. She puts on fake testicles so people don't think you really did it. And that's true. They do that. I'm not making it up. And yes, but her pet has been so extremely made over that it begins to think it's a cat, her dog, and it's trapped in a dog's body. So it's transitioning her pet from a dog to a cat, which has some complications in the novel, yeah.
So Dickens would collect names. He would go around and say, Ebenezer Scrooge, he'd write that down, Uriah Heep, Wexford Squares. Do you do this with fringe behaviors? Like,
well,
with
names I do, definitely. I have this one baby book from the 50s that I have used for every movie, everything. I don't know where Sprinkles came from, but Marsha. Also, I hear people's names, and I hear them, and I always write them down. I'm always spying. All writers are spies, and they listen, and they're eavesdroppers, and they watch people, and they spy, and I read 100 newspapers a day of me and magazines, and I'm always drawn to behavior that I can't understand. That's what I'm interested in. If I wasn't this, I'd be a defense lawyer or a psychiatrist. So, and I'd be a good one.
Well, you kind of are both of those, actually.
Yeah. So I'm trying to understand characters that even I wouldn't understand, because the fascination of life to me is that no one, despite what Catholics say, no one is born guilty. And Jews have the best thing. They say you're born the best, the chosen people. That's what you should tell your children, not that you're born guilty and then have limbo where babies are crying forever to see Jesus and then cancel it. Where are those babies now? That keeps me up. Yeah.
Speaking of holidays, there is another running theme throughout all of your work in the background when I hear you interviewed and read things about you. Tomorrow's Mother's Day.
Yeah, domineering Mother's Day
domineering
for gay people. Freud would say that.
And
absent Father's Day.
And anybody who's not heard your commentary on Mommy Dearest needs to get that DVD tomorrow.
Well, I think that if they cut 2 scenes out of Mommy Dearest, she would have won the Oscar. If she hadn't had the "It's Not You, the Dirt I Hate" and the coat hanger scene, which is so over the top, the rest of it was good. But Frank Perry made that film. I mean, it is a good movie technically. Although later, I was always on Joan's side. Later, because her daughter, he was so serious about it and everything, and she was so abused. But later, she was at the Castro Theater with drag queens dressed as her mother doing a show. So how upset was she, really?
She cashed in,
when she's
absolutely.
cashing in on it.
Sure.
No more wire hangers, come on.
So in the background, again, and you've acknowledged this several times, your own mother, took you to see wrecked cars,
Yeah.
let you do those crazy puppets. I mean, when you did Pink Flamingos, she was making flyers and sending them to you?
She was understanding, but horrified by the movie. My mother was serial mom more. I mean, she's the one that taught me the rules of good taste, and I'm glad she did. Because if I didn't know the rules, I couldn't have defied them. But at the same time, she's still, and I'm like my mother, I'm right-wing on one thing about you can't wear white before Memorial Day. I really think you should get the death penalty.
Fashion has changed.
Yeah. No, it has not changed. And last year at the John Waters summer camp, are there any campers here? Ah, great, so good some here. That is Jonestown with a happy ending, our summer camp. But Kathleen judged a bad white fashion show after Labor Day where everybody wore the most hideous white outfits. It was really good. And all the campers put blood in it. I thought that was rude. Like half the people were having their period. I guess that's a problem with summer whites. I didn't realize. Yeah.
So your mother was very supportive, and
She was horrified and supportive.
Horrified but supportive.
Yeah.
What about coming out? I mean,
well, I never came out. That seemed to me like a bar mitzvah or something. My mother never asked if I was gay because she thought the answer would be worse. So I figured, what did they think I was, But I had girlfriends too, which confused them, and I also had straight friends that were. We hung around with all different kind of people. I still like that. I'm not a separatist. I don't get why people want to hang around with themselves. I don't want to get why people fuck people that look like themselves. I mean, otherwise Steve Buscemi and I would be married. But so she was confused. She didn't know what, because I always said gay's not enough either. It's a good start, but and the first time I ever went in a gay bar, I thought I might be queer, but I'm not this. This was so square when I went into them. They had little sweaters, and it was called the Chicken Hut, and that was the name of it. That is a funny name, but it was in Washington, and they had telephones on every table, and they would ring and say, "Hi, I'd like to buy you a drink on table 4." Get me out of here, So
that does sound a little much.
So she was confused, by everything, and still at the end, with my last movie, Dirty Shame, she said, "Oh God, what's this one about?" And I said, "Sex addicts," and she said, "Oh, maybe we'll die first." So I got my humor from her too, I think. Yeah, my dad just said, "It was funny. I hope I'll never see it again." And my dad lent me the money for those early movies. Never saw them, and I paid him back with interest, and he was
now that
stupefied.
Is love.
Stupefied.
He gave you the money for Pink
yeah.
Flamingos.
Yeah.
Wow. So
I wish he had been alive to see that the National Registry named it as a great American film this year. Even I'm appalled at that. Yeah, no, it's really lovely. It's really nice, and Criterion's putting out this beautiful version of
next
it coming
month,
out
the
soon.
50th
Yeah,
anniversary.
It's really great. Wait till you see the extras. We go back in the houses and tell the people that live there what happened in their house.
It's astonishing to me. Actually, the first time we met was in 1986. And
Where?
I was sent to the airport. I was working for this mega nightclub here called Limelight. And I was sent to the airport to pick you up, and you were coming in to promote Female Trouble on this brand new thing called VHS.
Oh, God, yeah.
So I had this punk band, and I had this all planned. I had this cassette I was going to play, and it had dialogue interspersed from the Byrds, and we're driving down the expressway, and I put it in, and you were like, "What is this?" And I was like,
Usually
yes,
I'm very polite. I'm amazed I did that.
I was so delighted that I had upset John Waters. Well, right at that point, Beverly Sutphin is in the station wagon in front of us and loses control of her car. And I mean, I'm trying to, and we're careening, and she gains control. And I'm probably paraphrasing, but you literally said, "She must have looked in the rearview mirror and seen John Waters is in town."
Oh, I don't know. But it could be, I believe you, everybody, but I'm usually more polite than that, even if I didn't. The only thing that's ever happened to me, once I was kidnapped, because you go in airports, you get out, the drivers, someone's holding a sign, had my name on it, I got in, and it was some girl, she said, "I really wasn't supposed to pick you up, but I just wanted to talk to you." I'm still friends with her, actually.
Well, so my point is, of course,
I became friends with her,
pen
and it was
pals.
at a university. It was, they got mad at her, but then.
I mean, we've gone from this fringe person who scares the mainstream to the National Registry. You're this beloved
And I'm the
figure.
same, though.
I mean, has the culture just caught up to you?
Yeah, people's sense of humor got more twisted, and they learned that laughter is how you win a war, laughter is how you fight, laughter is how you get people to listen. But the main thing you have to do is make fun of yourself first, and I think that's something that the trigger warning crowd doesn't do. But actually, I think I am weirdly political correct. I think we should go further and have fecal flash mobs that go to shopping malls and enforce pronoun police, and if they don't have non-binary people, leave an upper decker in the toilet. That's when you don't flush it and they can't
I
find
would
the odor.
suggest that
Yeah.
this entire audience would follow you out into the street
Well, and
if
we'll
you
do
wanted
a,
to do
a
that.
flash mob of fecal lunatics.
I mean, you literally are the outsider's outsider, and I say that.
But I'm inside now. That's
right,
the joke.
which is like
right,
the
yeah.
the coolest thing. But let's get back to the book for a minute because this is a huge undertaking. Your first novel.
Yeah.
And what people don't think of, writing takes a lot of time.
This took 3 years.
This is an endeavor. Can you just talk about the nuts and bolts? Do you have a favorite room, certain
Yeah,
hours
I have
of
one
the
room
day?
I go in every day at exactly 8 a.m. I get up at 6. I drink 5 cups of tea. I read about 100 newspapers online, and I get them delivered. I look at my emails, and then everybody knows never to call me. In the morning, I don't look at emails. I don't answer the phone. I write from about 8 to 11 every day, Monday to Friday. And the afternoon, I think up fucked up things in the morning and sell them in the afternoon. And I've been doing that for 50 years. And I handwrite everything with Bic pens, the same kind of legal pads. I have to have Scotch tape. I cut it. And when I have a first draft, which takes a long time, my assistants can read my writing and they type it. And then I cut that up and it's half written. And when I turn it in, it's about 6th draft, I think. And the first draft's the hardest. You just keep going. Don't endlessly rework the first chapter. I mean, at the end of the day, read it, but the next day, just keep going. And when you're finished, you usually read the whole book and you maybe hate it, which I did, but you think, who wrote this? But it's a lot easier to rewrite the second draft than it is to write the first one. And each time you write, it gets better and better, hopefully. And if you cut something out and change it and then you put it back in, usually you're done.
Do you do an outline to start with, or you just?
Well, I get a deal. I'm used to pitching movies and pitching books. I mean, to get a book deal, I think up the plot. Yeah, before I go to the publisher, and it gets less and less. Sometimes I can get a deal with a paragraph if it's good, but I go in and I give them the whole. First, I think of all the characters. I think of what genre I'm parodying, kind of, and then I think of the characters, and then one critic that hated me in the old days said then I think up the plot, which he called just the clothesline to hang my filthy wash, which is true. And so then I do the plot, and I always do 3 acts. I'm still like 3 acts from 16 millimeter, 30 minutes. And then I start. But it changes many, many times. This was based on a movie idea that from a long, long time ago that I really never developed. I never pitched it or anything. It was just, but Marsha did steal suitcases in airports, and she did have a boyfriend that was her fake chauffeur, that basically his salary is he could have sex with her once a year. And this was the day he was collect, but as she puts it, she's no man's used up calendar. So I had some ideas, yeah. But then other characters that were in it, sometimes I have other projects. I stole some of them for Carsick when I did the fictitious part of the rides. I imagined that were the worst rides and the best. I can, I don't let things go to waste. I don't have any old things that haven't been plucked clean of ideas that I didn't work and put into something else and developed.
Do you, when you're writing, do you dialogue? Do you become Marsha and Daryl? Are you
I
talking
become
back and
each
forth?
one of them. When I'm doing the character, I'm part of that person. And since my handwriting is like Cy Twombly's, when I give it to my assistant, I read it so they can wear earphones when they're typing. Yeah, I play all the characters in my mind, and when you read it, you hear you using the same word too much, or when you read it aloud, you can hear it. But I don't read it aloud for others. I read it aloud for me. But that's not in the beginning. I don't do that. That's way later.
You're a renowned bibliophile with over 8,000 books, and I
got more than that then. That was
probably many more since that quote. You once said, if you go home with somebody and they don't have books, don't fuck them.
Well, I have to say, though, if they're cute enough, I have violated that rule. And the other thing is, even worse, if you go home with somebody and they have books in the bathroom, don't fuck them, especially a bin of Jokes in the John and old Us magazines. Well, first of all, you shouldn't be eliminating in someone else's house ever. If you're coming over for dinner and I'm cooking, don't think you're going to go in there and do that. In my home.
What are you supposed to do?
Do it in your house. Don't go out. Aren't you house trained? It's disgusting. I
So
don't
when
think
you
there
go to
should be
somebody's
public
house for
bathrooms.
Thanksgiving,
Right.
you excuse yourself and
No,
go
if
home?
you come over to my house for Thanksgiving and take a shit, you're never invited again. I can't imagine. What do you want to? Where's the bathroom? Why? Plan ahead.
I'm kind of speechless.
Good.
Okay, so of the 8,000 plus, some of your favorites.
Well, I think I wrote in one of my books, Role Models. I think my favorite writer, I love Denton Welsh. I love Jane Bowles. Two Serious Ladies is my favorite novel ever in the
Boy,
whole
they're
world.
fun.
Oh, they're hilarious. That book is so funny in parts of it. I like Ivy Compton Burnett. I love Denton Welsh really a lot. I wrote the introduction to Tennessee Williams' Memoirs when it was re-released. He gave me the freedom to get out of suburbia, know what Bohemia was and everything. So he was a huge influence on me. Edward Albee, The Theater of the Ridiculous, Jean Genet. Oh, God. I used to read him in Catholic school, and they were so dumb they didn't know. They thought, he's reading good. If they only knew Our Lady of the Flowers was not what they were teaching us, right? Grove Press saved my life, right? So I always read books that were, I don't know, I read William Burroughs, Genet, all the beats.
Who called you the Pope of
William Burroughs
trash?
called me the Pope of Trash. I was being
Man.
anointed from God above, right?
Totally.
And I even opened for William one night. We spoke together because he was very smartly reinvented for the punk world by James Grauerholz, his friend, and he gave readings in all the punk clubs and stuff. And I went to William's house before, and I sneaked and looked in his bedroom, and he had a single cot, and he was reading the paperback version of the Guyana Massacre, and he served warm vodka in an empty peanut butter jar. It was great. It was so great.
But obviously you did not use the facilities.
No, I did not.
Okay.
No.
So something in the book, the book really reminds me of that horsefly passage. I'm just going to read for a second. I took her in my arms and mashed my mouth up against hers. Bite me, bite me. I bit her. I sunk my teeth into her lips so deep I could feel the blood spurt into my mouth. It was running down her neck when I carried her upstairs. That's from The Postman Always Rings Twice.
Oh, I was going to say, did I write that?
I mean, does that not...
Well, I love,
Kane
James M.
and-
Cain lived in Maryland, too, you know.
I was
He
gonna
lived
say,
near
that
Baltimore.
had to have been
yeah.
an influence.
I loved him, and this is a parody of many things. It's a parody of noir, definitely, in some ways. It's a parody of narrative. Not so much stuff happens in 4 days that all characters would drop dead. It's ridiculous how much could happen. I love ridiculous alliteration I use. I love to have ludicrous sex writing. I have parody, I think, experimental writing where I just talk to the reader suddenly for no reason in the middle of the book. So I'm trying to parody the very idea of writing a novel in the first place. And but I still want it to just sound like I'm telling you a story. Even though to make it sound like that, you have to rewrite and get it raw. I know
to
from
do the
Broadway,
work.
one thing I really learned from doing Hairspray on Broadway, something I had never done, and I didn't produce it or write it, but I was there constantly like a studio executive, so I saw the endless fiddling they do with it before it's, quote, frozen, before it opens. And you can get not one laugh, and they change the pause or two words, and the whole house is roaring. It's amazing to see how close it can be about timing and the way you say something and the way you do it. And, I'm trying to make fun of political correctness, but at the same way, I went through the book with my editor, my agent, the 3 generations of women that work for me to say, what can you do today with humor on the edge? It's easy to be offensive, but I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to make fun of the rules that I live in, that you all live in, that my audience lives in. And that's what gets touchy. But humor's always been that. You think about it, Lenny Bruce went to jail for saying fuck. I'd get the death penalty for this book if it was in the 50s.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
This humor, which makes the transgressive go down easier, there's also always this very deep affection. You love these people.
I do. Even the most damaged people I find appealing, and I try to. That's why I don't like people that judge other people. Marsha does have a reason, you find out, why she's this horrible. It's a ludicrous one, but still, it is a reason. Yeah. So I'm just asking you not to judge people till you know the whole story. And sometimes I'm trying to give you the whole story. It's ludicrously, so terrible. But at the same time, I'm trying to make you laugh at things that you might fear or what is terrible sometimes. If it's not real, you can laugh with it, hopefully. I'm always asking you to laugh with my characters, not at them, I don't think. That's a big difference.
Which is probably one reason why everybody, on the outside, as I said, you said once to RuPaul, even among minorities, you're minorities, you said this earlier, I really do think of you as the outsider's outsider. And certainly in the climate we're in now, you're like this huge hero to have lived your whole life in the early 70s. You're like this
I'm not
gay
in my early
icon.
70s. I'm in my late 70s.
No, I'm talking about the 1970s when Pink Flamingos.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No.
I'm 76. That's middle-aged. I'm not going to be 152.
How many
Even if things go well.
148-year-old middle-aged women do you know?
Old chickens make good soup.
Absolutely.
But,
Okay.
But still, it's amazing to me. I agree that kids come up to me, and they're so amazing. They weren't even born when I made some of these movies. And my movies keep getting put out, and they're never rediscovered. They're not hard to see. Multiple Maniacs was on HBO Plus. How could that possibly be?
How could that be?
I don't know myself. And I think Criterion, really, I gave a great salute to them that put the class back in the art business because they celebrate all kinds of movies. Well, not all kinds. They celebrate both ends. Nothing in the middle, right? The very arty and the very trashy, but the ones that are so trashy, they're so extreme. And I tried to get them to do all their films in odorama, just go through it and say, what would Bresson smell like? A single breath mint.
There was polyester where you had the smell of thing.
Yeah, but what would Bergman they distribute? Why don't they do that in odorama? What does suicide smell like? Cabbage?
Okay, so talking just for a moment about movies, it's been over 15 years since The Dirty Shame, since you've made a movie, which is a fucking dirty shame.
Well, I've been paid to write 3 other ones that never came out that were a sequel to Hairspray, 3 different kinds for Hollywood. They paid me very well, and I did it. They never came out, and I have another one that I was paid to do called Fruitcake, which is a children's Christmas movie. That might happen. Who knows? And
wait, go back. Say that again.
No,
it might
can't
happen.
say anything about it. I can't say anything about it. It's just I can't. So who knows? Might. And so it's not that I haven't been active in Hollywood. They've paid me to do things, and Hollywood treated me fairly. I don't have any complaints about it. They treated me fairly. One thing you should know, if you don't want them to tell you what to do, then make your film on a cell phone camera. If you want a house, you listen to what they have to say. That's how it works.
Well, we can, there's a sliver of hope that perhaps we'll do that. We have a couple of audience questions, and then we're going to open this up to some other questions. But we had people in advance.
How did they get? Earlier
they went on the website.
They were afraid to come.
They went to the post office
well,
and
thank
dropped
you.
it in.
Risking your life to come tonight. This might be the last night you ever go out. Yeah.
This is from Anonymous.
Uh-oh.
What a surprise. What is your favorite memory of Divine?
My favorite memory of Divine would not be when we were filming. My favorite memory of Divine would be at Christmas, which he really loved. And I don't know, just being with him. He was a great host. He loved to cook. He loved to have friends over. He was the opposite kind of the Divine image that you think of this scary person. Divine in high school got hassled constantly, and later he used that rage to become the character. But once he established that, when he got the best reviews is when he played the opposite, when he played a loving mother or a drunken housewife or something. So my favorite memories of Divine would be at Christmas, and I remember the last time I ever saw him. Hairspray had opened. It was a hit. He got a great review with Pauline Kael. He got all great reviews, and we had dinner at Odeon in New York, just the two of us. And we sat at that last table. We were glowing. It was great success. It just happened a week earlier. I kissed him goodbye. He got in a limo, which I'm sure he didn't pay for. And he dropped dead the next week. So it was a great last night. But and today, you know, the graveyard he's in has many, many visitors, and so I'm going to be buried there. We're all being buried there. Mink Stoll, so we call it Disgrace Land. So it's a whole
Pat Moran.
It's a whole Pat Moran, Mink Stoll, Dennis Derby, a lot of us. We're all going to be buried there. So and I like the idea of being buried with your friends, with your studio. You know, not that many. No one does that. I don't know anyone that's buried with their friends. Do you?
No, but I love that idea. I also love the idea of being buried with favorite books. Did you know that you can get a casket that has little drawers, so you can take
put your
things with
books
you?
in it?
Yeah.
That's a bit
What
much.
book would you take?
I would take Two Serious Ladies, but that's one thing. You got time. You better be a long book. I'd take My Struggle, all 5 volumes, and then have to translate it.
Remembrance Past.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to make a quick shout out to anybody who hasn't seen Divine in Trouble in Mind.
Yeah, he plays a man. The last movie
plays
he was
a
in
man.
it. But Divine lived as a man. Divine was never
marvelous in that
trans. I
film.
mean,
Yeah.
Divine would be for that movement. Divine didn't want to be a woman. You know, the one thing I think was so great about RuPaul, who's really taken drag and made it accepted by so many people that never would. RuPaul has been around as long as we have. I remember him in the old days in Atlanta. He has a great look as a man, too. Most drag queens don't.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
That's true. This is from Kyle. Since you'd be one of mine, can you name 3 of your dream dinner companions? Normally I'd go with living, but you can do as you like. And why? Thank you.
3 of my, well, dead and alive would be very, very different. One would be Eminem, the only celebrity I want to meet that has no desire to meet me.
Why? Eminem?
I don't know, but Elton John told me that he's not a homophobe at all. Eminem gave he and David, when they got married, matching gold cock rings. So that seems pretty unhomophobic to me. Who else would I like to meet? From the dead days, definitely it would be Tennessee Williams, although I saw him alive once in a restaurant, but I didn't meet him. Jean Genet would definitely be there because he was the scariest, most beautiful. And Pasolini, that would be the other one, Pasolini. To me, that's the holy trinity. I knew Warhol, so I would get ones I didn't meet, Pasolini, but I did go to the secret little park they have for him where he was murdered by a trick, and I recorded a prayer to him and spoke in tongues, which came out as a record this year on Sub Pop label called Prayer to Pasolini. Yes.
Okay, well we'll just all Google that and maybe we'll get that today. Wonderful. And then we'll watch Un Chante Amor. Oh wait, no, that was Jean Genet.
That's a great one. That movie.
That's a good one, right?
Beautiful. Well, that's Genet though. Yeah.
Okay, this is from Ty Aramondo. Hello, John. I'm a huge fan of yours and an aspiring 17-year-old filmmaker that wants to make the same shocking, bizarre, quote-unquote trash cinema that you have perfected. Anyways, my question, although quite cliche, is what advice would you give to young filmmakers like me who want to be unique and stand out among the thousands of films being made? Thanks.
Well, the advice would be to do what you want to do is not imitate me. You have to do something that would surprise me, that would come out. And I always said to get an NC-17 rating with no sex or violence. What could that be? That's the key to the next shocker. Ideas that are so perverse that parents are just nervous of you thinking about them. What a great movie that would be. And also to tell all young people, a no is free. Don't fear rejection ever. It's like hitchhiking. You need one person to say yes to back a movie. Don't borrow money from people if you really don't think you can pay them back. It's not a grant, you know. Pot dealers are really good too. Well, now they're legal though, so you have to get illegal drugs really. But drugs. I never had bad experiences with them, but people I know died really. So, but I did take LSD again when I was 70 for my book, and I hadn't done it in 50 years, and I did it with Mink Stoll. My mother always said, "Don't tell young people to take drugs." I'm not. Any old people here, take them. If you had good experiences 50 years ago. Not these little pussy microdoses you all do.
What the hell is wrong with me? Why didn't I bring tabs of acid? We could have done them before.
No, you can't spike people with it. And I did it once. I don't have to ever do it again. Same way I don't have to hitchhike across America again. You know, I did that once. I dared myself. I dared myself to write a novel. It's not a stunt. I'm trying to think, what stunt can I do at 80? And I thought, like, turn straight. Come in at 80. Hey, baby.
Here's my wife. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have a mic.
Can we turn down those lights on us a
Yeah,
little so we can see the audience?
See the audience and get some of your comments or questions in.
Yeah, that would help a lot. We still can't see the audience though.
We've got those arena lights on us.
The lights are turning on. They just take a.
Over
here.
Okay.
But those lights that are on us can go down a little.
Well,
right.
in the meantime,
just yell it out, Louise.
House left.
here we go. I can see somebody in the front row.
Yeah.
Hi, John.
Over there.
My question is, with the rise of really, for lack of a better word, white trash people like Marjorie.
Oh, I never would say that's the last racist word. Yeah.
But this particular person, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I was thinking would be perfect in a sequel to Desperate Living, where everyone had to be backwards.
But the thing is, I don't ever put politics local in a movie because it dates it. It immediately puts it in time. I want my films to last forever. By putting Trump jokes or anything, it immediately just dates it at a certain period. And I think you can do all the punk joke, all political jokes you want, certainly. In spoken word shows and everything, but in a movie, I think if you want it to last, you can't. So I don't find her fascinating. To me, she's not even fun. I mean, Trump ruined bad taste. I mean, even those hideous Las Vegas Christmas decorations, they weren't funny though or anything. They were just nothing, So, but when he was alive, I did a spoken word show where I did a really graphic, long thing about what it would be like to have sex with him. That was really disgusting. Yeah.
Right here, up in front.
Hi, yeah.
Hi.
Hi, John.
Hi.
How involved are you with the Criterion releases? I'm
Well,
so
I'm
excited
certainly,
about Pink Flamingos.
they came to me in the beginning wanting to do Multiple Maniacs, and I was like so happy they did, and they made it look like a bad John Cassavetes movie, which really made me happy. And now it's 100% favorable on Rotten Tomatoes. How could that be? That's so I'm up there with Last Picture Show, And I'm involved with them. I work with them. You go in when have this guy, Lee, there that's so great about restoring films. I come up with some of the ideas for them, but I work with a woman named Susan there who's brilliant, who produces all the things. So I'm involved with them, certainly, but it's their baby. They come with the different designs and everything. We did all the extras. And I have all this footage, left, and I take it up there in my car, old. It's amazing. Some of the Pink Flamingos was shot on, it was called Ektachrome Kodak Color, which has been sitting in my hot attic in Baltimore for 50 years, and it didn't fade. And you look at Cleopatra, it's fading. It's because of that film. And Paul Morrissey and the Warhol used the same kind of film. It was the best color. It lasted forever. They don't even make it anymore. So I'm involved in it, definitely. And then I, go promote it and do the whole bit. They've been great. They have been so great to work with. And it's like the stamp of approval from them, because they have such a class act. They have a TV series now, so they're really great to work with. Any filmmaker would be insane not to work with them. Yeah.
Okay, somebody else? We're over there.
Who's one of it?
Right here. Hi, John.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask if you could talk a little bit about Cookie Mueller and
Yeah,
your friendship.
she's
her
having a
new book.
big revival right
Yeah.
now. Cookie Muller, I'll tell you everything about her, but her books have just been put out by Semiotext, and she just got the best rave review in the LA Times for her book that she's as good as Eve Babbitt. All this kind of really praise, which is really exciting because Cookie was really good. I met Cookie, she was from Baltimore, and at the premiere of Mondo Trasho that was in a church, we had a door prize, which was dinner for two at the Little Tavern, which was the worst hamburger shop in town, and we took the winner in a limousine. She had just been released from a mental institution, and she won. And that's how we met her, and then instantly she started hanging with us, and she played Divine's daughter a lot. She went on and she did a lot of movies with me, and then she moved to New York, and she was with Nan Goldin, and she did a lot of famous Nan Goldin pictures of her. Cookie is the only straight girl I know who had a girlfriend, Sharon, for 23 years. She was straight, though, but she did have a girlfriend. I met another girl in Baltimore that told me a great thing recently. She said, I've had a girlfriend for 25 years. I don't identify as gay. I was just horny, and this worked out better. And then Cookie and I were estranged sometimes because she liked heroin, and I was against it, So Cookie had bad sides. She liked heroin and to fuck gay men during AIDS. Great, that was not really a brilliant idea. But she was amazing. I used to see her, my favorite thing. She didn't have time when she was going out. She'd get dressed, and then she'd snort instant coffee. Two big lines of that. Oh, God. And she had this horrible dog she fed bacon grease, I remember. But she was something, and her son Max was the little baby in Pink Flamingos that they sell. He's great. He's 50-some years old. He lives in Provincetown. He's very much good guy. I like him. So I'm really happy that Cookie, this revival is happening. They're talking about movies and everything. So it's exciting. I'm glad you brought it up.
There's another question
Her
to your...
mother really hated me because her mother found the script for Pink Flamingos where it said Cookie fucks chicken. Well, we're kidding, kind of, but her mother would call me Beelzebub and come running out of the house and stuff, screaming when I would pick her up.
Over on the right here. Stand up, please.
John, you look amazing. I know you're a Joan Crawford fan.
Sure, I am a Joan Crawford fan. Yeah.
Did you
Trog I showed recently at the British Film Institute, and we found the man in a nursing home that played Trog in the monkey suit and brought him up on stage. The audience was stupefied. They didn't know what to say, because that movie, when she says, "Catch the ball, Trog," is so amazing. Blue, Trog, blue. Yeah, so I am a Joan Crawford fan, yes.
Did you know she traveled to Africa in 1957 with Pepsi? What do you think the interaction was like?
With who?
With the Africans when she was in Africa.
When she was what?
When she flew to Africa in 1957.
I don't know about what happened.
To open probably a Pepsi bottling plant.
A Pepsi, yeah. I don't know about that. I was in the Ryan Murphy series. I played William Castle when Jessica Lange played her, and it was so weird because I met Jessica Lange dressed as Joan Crawford, and I said, "I'm already scared of you from Francis." Yeah. But no, I never did get to meet her. No, I never saw her. But she was. Yeah, I guess she just worked hard, She really cared for her fans, and she was, I don't know, she was, I didn't know Betty Davis. My friend Greg Gorman, he shot her a lot. Best thing she ever said was about Faye Dunaway. She said, "She belongs in an institution, and I don't mean marriage." There is a new movie that's coming out. This is the only movie that shocks me that's coming out. It's Kevin Spacey's comeback movie, and it stars Faye Dunaway. What is that gonna be like? There's a red carpet to avoid.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah.
It's not a John Waters movie?
No, it's real. They've shot it already. I don't know. I don't know. I was with Faye Dunaway once on a plane, and she I don't know her, but she had just made a movie with Johnny Depp, so she knew that. So I was on the plane by myself coming from a college, and she was with her son, I think, that was at a college. And she got on the plane, she was fighting with him or something, and they sat apart, and then she looked at me, oh, hi, John. She was real nice. And she came over, and this one other passenger was on the plane sitting there. And we were talking, and then the woman said, excuse me, Miss Crawford, I really love your film. She said, thank you, that's so nice. And then she turned to me and talked, and suddenly she turned back to that woman and said, what exactly did you like about which movie I was in? Person went, oh my God, you know. So she was something, yeah. But I respect that kind of crazy, though. You know, Faye Dunaway's a little like Liarmouth in a way. She's a little nuts like that.
She is a little bit
Yeah.
like Marsha Sprinkle, actually,
Yeah,
when you
maybe,
think about
yeah.
that intensity of discipline.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
you know. Quick trivia question for you. Okay, in Hairspray, that wonderful little gadget that you hold up to Tracy turned
Oh,
black,
that little,
do you
that
still
was from
have
the
that?
hypnotic
The
eye.
hypnotic
you know,
eye
that was
thing?
like kind of from the
Oh, we lost your mic.
hello? Sort of
Okay.
the hypno wheel, you know, look at me.
Do you still have that somewhere? Is that
It's
one of your
somewhere.
treasures?
It's at Wesleyan Film Archive. Yeah, I have all the props and everything.
Good,
I have a good
good.
film archive at Wesleyan. Yes, yes, yes.
Could be a great after-dinner little
Yeah, yeah.
entertainment for folks.
Yeah.
Okay, more
Over
questions?
on your left side there.
Ah, there we go.
Hi, John. Oh my God, we have the same fit. Right? We have the same color palette.
Good.
But okay.
I always thought this was very Mother of the Bride.
Oh yeah. Oh, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. But I was wondering. I'm having my first threesome tonight, and I like really want some advice.
You had your
And,
first what?
My first threesome, and I would like some
First
like.
what?
Threesome.
Oh, threesome.
Thruple.
And I'm having.
I hope you weren't the lettuce. To me, that's why I never like threesomes, because who wants, there's always the lettuce, the bread wins. But go ahead, yeah, go.
Well, I just want tips. Like I'm nervous.
So you haven't done it yet?
No.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, really. I don't think I've ever been in a, have I been in a threesome? I'm sure I have, but I didn't seek it out. You know, to me, there's too many things to concentrate on. Too many organs. Well, are they all, what sexual is it? I mean,
Gay. Boy, girl.
well, who's the third one?
Well, the third.
Two girls, they always have to perform for the guy. Make the guy do it with a guy, too.
Ooh.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. None of this whacking and watching. And give them what they really need. If they really needed it, they wouldn't be a dyke, would they? Yeah.
She's going to do it with Kevin Spacey and Faye Dunaway.
Well, I don't know. My advice is whoever the third man out is, be it boy or girl, make them later switch and do it with other sex they want you to do it with.
Okay,
All right?
I'm gonna do that. I guess.
And don't put it on film. I'm telling you, don't put it on film. Anytime you place one thing online, you don't own it anymore, and you'll never, you know, people will be jerking off to Pornhub the rest of your life looking at you. So I would just try to not do that if I were you.
Danke schön, danke schön.
Okay, over on your right
Yes.
here, and then we'll come back over there.
Hi, John. What are some of your most memorable interactions with fans that you've met?
With fans, my fans are smart. They give me great presents. I've never had fans. I watched somebody come up and slap me. My fans, just, you know, I'll tell you a really good one recently. I went to Poland, and I'm in Poland, and I think, how do they know who I am? It's amazing to me they know who I am. We're showing all the films I'm doing in English. I did my whole spoken word show, and I did this one workshop, and they had translators, and it was for a lot of people that really were Polish. And this old man stood up, looked like Nikita Khrushchev. I mean, like the most old, you know, cliche of a communist. And he said, I was here when it was totally communist, and I saw a legal copy of Crybaby. And when Willem Dafoe slapped Johnny Depp on the ass, I knew I was gay. I couldn't believe it. I called Willem and told him. He really, yeah. It was amazing to me, you know, just the kind of thing. And I've written about this one fan. She said, "You don't know how much you saved my life." And I said, "How?" She said, "Well, you're always talking about assholes." And I never looked at mine, and I did. And I noticed something was wrong. And I went to the doctor, and I had rectal cancer, and I got it cured. Thank you. That took my breath away, you know. And recently in a show I gave, in the questions like this, somebody said, "How did you avoid cancer?" I thought, what? That's an odd question. I quit smoking. I don't know. But they had said, "How did you avoid getting canceled?" I misunderstood them. But and another time, a girl in the audience said, "My father told me he almost went home with you in a bar one night." Tell him hi.
Thanks, Kevin Spacey.
Over here.
Yes. Can we stand up and see this outfit here?
Yeah.
Good. It's almost like the stepmother's hair in Cinderella. Yeah.
Hi, John. Big
Hi.
fan.
Thank you.
I was wondering, if Divine was around today, what do you think she would think about RuPaul's Drag Race?
I think he'd be he, because I think he'd be great. He would have been a judge on it. He already would have been on it. RuPaul and Divine had met before, certainly. Divine would be thrilled, because I think when I was young, drag queens were pretty square. They had Miss America pageants, and they dressed like their mother and everything. Divine, I think, gave him a punch and everything, and I think almost every drag queen today on RuPaul has a punch and is funny and is angry and is great and is hip. You know, drag queens are really hip now. So I think Divine would be all for RuPaul and be happy of his success. And I think in some ways they are alike. RuPaul doesn't go in drag ever when he's not at work, and Divine didn't either. Not that they're against it. I don't think either one really. Divine was proud to be a drag queen. Divine didn't want to be a woman, or he said it was too hot. He was overweight. He said, "I can't wear all that shit. It's too hot." His wigs got shorter and shorter. He couldn't wait to rip them off. So
Okay,
I think he would be certainly proud of everything that's going on, all the sexual changes. He was always for that.
We've got time for one more.
Sure, yeah.
Who should it be?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right.
Oh, thank you. Hi.
Hi.
I recognized Liarmouth, the title, from Francine Fishpaw calling Lulu a liarmouth.
Does she?
Yeah, she's like, when she's saying that F is for fabulous, and
When she's
Francine
doing
goes-
what? 'Cause I don't remember.
When she's like smarting off to her mom, and Francine is like, "You're lying, you liar, you liar mouth."
Really?
And
I have to look that up.
Like
I
wondering,
forgot
like,
that.
if that was a common, because
No,
that's the
I
only
mean-
time I'd ever heard that.
Oh, you never heard liarmouth? That's a kid
No.
say all the time. You
Okay.
liarmouth. I used to hear it a lot as a kid, but I forgot that was in one of my movies.
Okay.
But I didn't remember that.
You said you stole from yourself. You stole from the best.
There is lines from the movies that are subtle in the movies, hidden in the book for real fans, you know. Or sometimes I just say the name of an obscure movie title that 3 people will get, but that's all right. That's for the super fans that just like a little weird little reference in there somewhere.
I volunteer to be your archivist then, if I'm the one.
Thank you. Well, thank you for pointing that out. That was a really good one. Well, thank you. Well, if you're coming to sign your book tonight, I'll write that line in it. Make me please do that. And I hope you will stay and do the signing, because we're going to do this. And it's like in a jail booth. It's got plexiglass, and you can put grind up on it. It's just like Crybaby.
So as you said, at 66, you hitchhiked across the country.
Yeah.
You took acid at 70, and now at 75,
76.
76, you've
Going
written your
on
first
80. Yeah.
novel. A life spent creating so many extraordinary things.
Thank you.
Here's to John Waters,
Thank
to
you
many
very
more
much.
things.
Thank you
Let's
very
hear it for
much.
Trigger
Thank you.
Warning.
Thank you.